Men who finds dating depressing. Why? Dating is a game, and the game sucks, and I don't play games that suck. It feels like I have to do all the courting. Shit, men like being treated nicely too, you know? I think all men like being treated nicely, not just shit men. Constant failure. I feel you, man. It's soul draining. We have to do all the work. We're the ones that have to win the girl, instead of the girl winning us. The way dating mostly works is women are put on a pedestal, waiting for the men to put themselves out there with hopes she'll choose you over the other guys. It's not fun to do all the time. Men need to realize we're the prize too, that they have to win us too. It's mutual. Not only it'll help with self-esteem, but also to choose better women. When all you're focusing on is what she thinks of you, you tend to overlook what you think of her. You're more focused on having her like you than you actually liking her. I feel like a phone manufacturer from Kickstarter that's often overlooked by people who go for iPhones, Galaxies, and other well-established competitors. I've just dated a lot now. I'm 33 and I've met with all types of women and had all kinds of experiences, and it just isn't novel or interesting to date anymore. I feel sad that I feel this way, but I am struggling to convince myself to bother anymore. Past experiences. 4/5 girls I tried to date ghosted me on a first date, and the last one just said she was willing to hook up with me only to get closer to a friend of mine. I am really tired of trying to appease women who don't even bother to show up or even text why they ghosted me, after they said they would come and meet IRL. I am still somewhat young, age 24, but I am at a period where I would love to be in a relationship, but knowing how well it went in the past, I don't have any more emotional strength to go on. The only way out of this is I meet someone randomly, but those chances seem just extremely low. Also, being an introvert does not help me one bit. Do you mean aside from the constant rejection, ghosting, judgment and outright hostility, or the being used as a very disposable exploitable resource? I'm honestly done with dating. 37M and I just hate the whole thing. I've been on Tinder for a year and only matched once, and I think that was a mistake. After the first message I sent, she unmatched me or blocked me because her profile disappeared. Dating in general was exhausting. I have so many stories of weird-ass dates that I don't want to add to that book. Right now it's me and my 2 dogs. I have them and they love me unconditionally. At this point, if I meet someone AMD they want to be a part of my life, then that's great. If not, then that's fine too. I just don't have the energy to date anymore. Male who has just turned 41. I've been straight my whole life, but Tinder makes me think that maybe I am ready to expand my horizons. Enormous waste of money, which I don't have a lot of. I am expected to take the initiative before I'll even know if I feel attracted to woman. I can quickly see if a woman is physically attractive, but other than that I know very little about her and don't feel anything. Yet it is completely on me to shoot my shot, and that feels very forced. It feels like a job interview. I hate job interviews. My definitive Bumble experience. 1. Is my profile me? 2. Should L actually swipe right/left on this girl because of this one thing in her profile? This makes me feel shitty. 3. I haven't gotten any matches in a while. Time to completely redo my profile. 4. Hey, a match? Oh, she let it expire. 5. Hey, a match? Oh, she let it expire. 6. Hey, a match? And we're texting now. Am I asking the right questions? Can these comments/jokes be misunderstood/offending? AML responding too fast/not fast enough? How long can I keep this up before I'll run out of wit and charm and have to start googling topics? 7. She ghosted. I guess I'll just spend the rest of the day mulling over the conversation to see if I can figure out where I screwed up. 8. Repeat 6 and 7 several times. At this point I have zero enthusiasm. Matches and conversations are blending together, and I've started saving questions/responses from old conversations to copy/paste. 9. Give up. Disable the app for a week or 2, then start over from 1. I've mostly gone from one long-term relationship to another fairly quickly, but at one point I was single for 6 months or so. A lady asked me out on a blind date. We used to speak over the phone as part of our jobs. She was nice enough. I took her to a Mexican restaurant, had a nice chat there, took her home, dropped her off, but I wasn't looking to stay or anything. Said goodbye. was a pretty good date. As I was driving home I was hit by a profound sadness. I'm not 100% sure what it was, but I felt as though I was maybe interviewing for a job. You know, like selling myself. I didn't like it, and so I found the whole thing demeaning. Maybe I feel exactly this. Dating feels like a job interview where I am trying to convince someone that I am worth something. I have never managed to get a single date in my life, and according to the people who made me the seventh wheel, it is bad out there for everyone now, as in apparently no one is whining. It feels like something from an end of days prediction. The last 10 dates I arranged, I was stood up. 3 girls even showed up to the restaurant I booked and tried to use my reservation with another guy. I don't date anymore. For an introverted guy like me, dating or simply direct messaging a girl feels like a game of how long can keep her entertained before she ghosts me. Extroverted or normal people generally don't understand or care to understand introverts. Apart from the depressing reasons mentioned here, it's also fucking expensive. Chicks never pay during the first dates. You end up single and less rich. No luck. Mid-30s and everyone seems to be taken. Right now in my 20s everyone seems to be taken too. Yep. It gets worse from here, I'm afraid. Been cheated on twice, so don't wanna have that happen again. Only ever in 4 relationships too. I always thought that dating was fun. You get to meet people, and even if there is no romance, it is fun to know somebody new. In reality, women in dates are weirdly combative, confrontational, and mean. I have never been insulted to my face so much as when I was dating. At least this was my experience. Long story short, men have to do all the work and get rejected multiple times before it works, and if you don't put in all that work, you'll stay single forever. Men need to message first, men need to initiate a date, men need to plan the date, what happens and where to go, men are expected to pay, at the very least split 50/50ths, men are expected to drive. In most cases after date number 1, men have to prove they can be providers and men need to make the first move. Obviously this is generalizing, but in my 3 years on dating apps, I've only ever had 3 girls send the first message and 1 girl make the move to kiss me, in about 30 to 440 dates or so. If I didn't provide all of the above mentioned, I would get ghosted. So this does not represent everyone, only my own personal experiences. I find it disheartening to have to try again and again without any success. For one woman I'm too quiet, for another I'm too kind, for the other I'm not handsome enough, and it goes on. I should be enough just as I am, but I don't feel enough. Love shouldn't be this hard, but it feels like something I have to put a lot of effort in when she doesn't really try all that much, and, at the same time, I'm not her only option. A friend of mine put it very aptly. For women, dating is like going shopping. For men it's like a job interview. Women have a massive upper hand in it. Dating in person is a nightmare, and using dating sites is even worse. You run a huge risk of just being taken advantage of, being ghosted, strung along, and all the while you're putting in more effort than any of your prospective partners. There's only so many times a guy will put up with being played with or used for free meals before they get fed up with it. And the worst part is if your date is exploiting or abusing you, no one will care. It's really demoralizing to be a guy in today's dating environment. I'm 37 and honestly, I never relied on apps like Tinder. I've dated women from work, connected through Facebook, jogging in the neighborhood or the liquor store to buy smokes, lol. I even had a date at work, which was different. The point is, these were all places where I was comfortable and in control of my presence and approach, unless I was approached. From what I've observed, online dating and meetups are too impersonal. Things got more difficult to express, especially since a lot of the communication game is nonverbal. How the fuck do you seduce someone with just fucking text messages, if they need more stimuli? This Tinder/Bumble shit is conditioning women to apparently pedestalize their own expectations, and seems to be dehumanizing as an approach for men. Stop using that shit. And go out and be a human. You'll have better success at finding friends and people who actually give a shit. I don't find it depressing, I just haven't met anyone like. I haven't met many girls that I find funny. The ones that I did just didn't tick the other boxes of the type of personality I want. I used to find it super depressing. Mutual interest and conversations were rare, if ever. Eventually I gave in and started using Tinder. At first I didn't have much luck, then I changed up my pictures, expanded my age limit, lower, and started recycling a low-effort cookie-cutter conversation. Then it went pretty well. Everyone seems to want to use me for sex or for a free dinner. I just want to find someone who genuinely loves me. Dating in my 20s was depressing. So much so that I basically avoided it for most of the time. All changed in my 30s though. I jumped back in but had a really different attitude. Zero expectations, no drama. Just talk to some women, hang out if we want, go further if we want. Don't take anything for more than it is right now. Had plenty of fun online and then met someone I just completely clicked with, and we've been going out for almost 4 years now. I'm a millennial, I'm buff, have hobbies, swing dance, own a house, I literally build spaceships. Still can't get a date to save my life. I have a buddy who does heroin that always has a girlfriend. I give up. Ghosting. There is zero accountability these days. It is extraordinary rude to ghost someone, and it honestly fucks with my head. You talk every day for a while and then the day comes for the actual date and they don't reply. Or the date goes fairly well and then no reply. How hard is it to send a "I don't think this is going to work"? If you're worried about those r/nice guy rejection explosions, block the dude's number after sending the message. Women often express attraction to me, saying I'm hot, or that they want to marry me, but they still rarely actually put effort into dating me. I don't have a problem getting attention from women, I just am always the one who puts in more effort. I'm just tired of being a tool for girls' validation and a walking ATM. Having to constantly prove myself worth the time of the girl I'm dating. In my experience, the expectations of women I tend to find myself attracted to are just too much. And I don't even bother with women I think are out of my league. Like for example, one woman liked that I owned my own home, except it wasn't nice enough or close enough to a city center. Another said I don't make enough money and she only dates men with degrees. I have a very stable government job with lots of benefits and am still in college part-time. The last girl I went on a date with told me after a few drinks that there was no way I was 5 feet 11 inches. I was too short for her. I would like to think I know my own height. If it's not some materialistic threshold I have to meet, it's something beyond my control. As horrible as it sounds, the only women who seem to be interested in me I don't find attractive because they are very overweight. I already have anxiety, so it really just doesn't feel worth the energy anymore. Just have to keep working on myself and hope for the best. Because I'm an ugly ass donkey. Dating is depressing because in the land of COVID and online dating it's basically a numbers game where nobody really gives a shit. I've had more success in getting dates by just swiping on everyone and copy-pasting an opener than I'd ever have actually trying with each one. It's not good mentally either. I was talking to a woman who put down the apps recently because she found herself mentally swiping on everyone she saw in public. She's not the only one. Shit's unhealthy. You know how when you're unemployed and looking for a job, the whole process is a full-time job all by itself? The resume, the cover letters, the applications, the interviews, the follow-ups, that all takes time and energy, not to mention money. That's what it's like trying to date as a guy. You're auditioning for a role and more often than not, there's a dozen other qualified applicants you're competing against. And that's just to get to the second interview. Now you're trying to dance between the landmines all the other dudes she's interacted with have left behind. It's fucking exhausting. Because women treat men like trash when dating. At least that was my experience until I finally found my wife after like 5 years of dating. By this I mean, flaking out, ghosting, standing me up, being rude, not caring about how I felt, etc. I want to be with someone, but I'm too proud to put myself out there as one of the infinite options for girls to cherry pick from on dating apps. So I'd just rather stay single and work on myself for now. I don't want to sound all dramatic, but I just don't have the stomach for all those infinite rejections and mind games from girls. Even though I usually have a decently high success rate. I'm quite sensitive. That shit hits me hard and destroys my confidence, which only makes it harder. You learn not to care or get invested after time again of things not working out, the ghosting, the women who don't put in an effort, the ones who are just really bad communicators, etc. Many times it's actually you when you realize afterward you said something that could be creepy or jerk. Why? Sometimes you think a date went really well, but they don't, and vice versa. Fun stuff: sending or receiving a rejection text after a date one of you thought went really well, not knowing if she's going to lash out horribly. Then your apathy works against you when you realize you hurt someone who was actually genuinely interested. Or you end up only attracting people who like emotionally distant people and cling harder the more you distance yourself. Meeting people who want a relationship when you're looking for something casual, and people who want something casual when you want a relationship. Or people who don't give you space when you need it, get offended when you want to get physical, or when you're not ready to, because God forbid a guy is not thinking about sex 24/7. Dogs, drugs, weed, wanting kids, a belief in a higher being. I really don't like or outright hate any of them, but good luck finding anyone who's on the same page and is okay dating someone who isn't into the same things. Extroverts who consider your hobbies boring, want to do everything together, or the hyperactive ones in lots of debt who want to travel together all the time. Sometimes it feels like I'm being asked to perform for someone else's entertainment, paying for almost everything, which is okay when I offer, but not when it's expected, and the sense of entitlement that goes with that, like planning something expensive and auto-magically assuming I'll pick the entire bill. Some Pikachu faces it's not that bad, haha, and really, I'm not good with approaching in real life where I know nothing else about them other than appearance, but brain dump time.